Non-routine, very dark, careful when entering the glass heart. No, no. Accompanied by the cruel sound of zombies chewing, Lin Yu was brutally killed. When his consciousness became clear again, he found himself reborn the day before the end of the world. And his second ability that he couldn't awaken before. The relic tattoo also appeared on him. From then on, he will touch the cold throne, amidst the frenzy of infected individuals, the ravages of the ferocious Zerg race, the deceit of humanity, the siege of terrifying beasts, and the invasion of various foreign invaders. Accustomed to the boiling beans and burning osmanthus of those in power, and accustomed to the cohabitation of evil gods, Lin Yu's heart became incredibly indifferent. With unparalleled strength, he will step onto the top of this world. My name is Lin Yu. I want to make all those who hurt me regret it. I just want to live, so I can only ask others to die. Chapter 1. Predisaster Rebirth, Purgatory Tattoo. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Recently, Jiang District, heavy rainstorm, the city was flooded, a large number of traffic roads were paralyzed. In Shenghua District, an unknown earthquake occurred, causing the collapse of all 300 acres of buildings on Hengda Island, resulting in 1321 deaths and injuries. In Meijiang District, an inexplicable epidemic has occurred, with a large number of livestock all dying suddenly and an estimated loss of 11.94 billion yuan in property. In the tourism forest of Luhai, a returning Nile crocodile was discovered, and multiple tourists were killed while playing by the water. At present, there are special investigators from the official secret department heading to the northern desert to understand the specific situation. Just 2 hours before this hot spot broadcast, I received a notice that a hurricane suddenly struck Haikao City, and all the shops along the coast mysteriously disappeared. In Jigao City, a large area of hail fell, damaging many vehicles in the city. Please pay attention to your own safety when going out. Hiss, Lin Yu suddenly extinguished the lit cigarette butt. A circle of smoke came out of the mouth. The same scene. The same scene. July 26, 2043, 16.22. Hengzhou District. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Looking at the time displayed on Nokia, Lin Yu burst out laughing wildly. His nails fiercely penetrated into his scalp, and a trace of blood flowed down his fingertips to his arm. I can't believe it. I, Lin Yu, have been reborn. A hoarse voice with endless pain sounded. Lin Yu's face was twisted, and his skin showed an abnormal bluish-red color. In the end of the world, he forced himself to live to the fourth natural disaster period with amazing perseverance and various kinds of luck. Originally, everything seemed so hopeful to him, but suddenly he was assigned to a special task force by the upper peak to carry out a special mission. At this moment, Lin Yu's tragedy began. In the team, there are his beloved girlfriend and brothers who support each other, but unexpectedly, when he goes to bed at night, he is fed by his beloved girlfriend and drinks the soul-dispelling pill, causing him to lose all his abilities. And this guy, surprisingly, is right in front of him, making good friends. Erosive and lewd. He remembers that after Jiang Taixio finished enjoying himself, he cruelly broke his own tendons, then packed himself in his pocket and threw himself into a group of crawling zombies. Watching myself being ripped open and eventually dismembered bit by bit. He will not forget the cold and ruthless expression on Park Sang-jing's face when Jiang Taixio dealt with him. No one understands how desperate he was at the time. Park Xin-jing. Jiang Taixio. I'm going to kill you all. Don't let me encounter it, otherwise I will personally let you experience what snake prison is. I don't know how long it took, but the ferocity and madness on Lin Yu's cheeks slowly dissipated. On July 27, at 7 o'clock in the morning. Disaster will envelop this planet, and the apocalypse will erupt. I seem to have less than 24 hours of preparation time left now. Park Sang-jing and Jingtai Sus Bang Zigua seem to be unable to go now and can only seek follow. Up. Wow. Lin Yu lifted his white shirt. A sheep horn demon tattoo resembling Satan appeared on his chest. Unexpectedly, even the heavens wanted to help themselves. This tattoo was obtained by chance while exploring a mysterious relic. According to the annotation in the relic text, this tattoo has the ability to summon monsters from other worlds. They come from Purgatory. But after the world disaster, every cell in my body was filled with inferior werewolf bloodline. Unable to gather the spirit and establish a second profession. Just as he wanted to continue exploring, he was sent by Shangfeng to carry out the task together with Jiang Taixio and Park Shanjing. Lin Yu vaguely remembers the last moment when his painful consciousness dissipated. The energy of tattoos is also annihilated. But now, accompanied by the butterfly effect, it has reappeared in itself. Hee. What a satire. Before the fourth natural disaster, depending on the ability of werewolf lineage, we finally got into the ranks of silver power. But in front of those truly strong individuals, this power still lags far behind. Before the disaster of the fourth day, Lin Yu's life experience can be described as extremely rich. After being framed, severely injured, stabbed and murdered, Lin Yu realized that the world is cruel and cold-blooded. But when he understood the true meaning of this world, it was already too late. What else can I do now? When the clock tower in the city points towards the number 7 the next day, a catastrophic energy storm will occur, causing irreversible damage to the world's power system. In this cold vacuum, humans not only have to face loneliness and darkness, but also the sickle of death. Disaster has descended. The boundary wall of Earth will be opened, and a large number of spatial cracks will be scattered throughout the world. Within the cracks, countless monsters that were previously unheard of will emerge. Brutal Zerg, ferocious ogres, terrifying zombies. And many unfamiliar and unnamed evil life forms. Suddenly, Blue Mercury transformed into a huge butcher's slaughterhouse, while humans became edible meat on the chopping boards of those butchers waving their knives. All gene chains are being disrupted. For example, cockroaches living in sewers can become the size of a clay pot. Their mouthparts have become even more terrifying, capable of easily biting and killing an adult man. Previously, as a mouse on a wildcat recipe. It will become the size of a Eurasian lynx, capable of completely swallowing a small elementary school student. For example, the inconspicuous white mosquito can grow up to the thick thighs of zebras. Just gently inserting his mouthpiece into the human body can suck a living person into a dried corpse. In the viewing garden, rhinoceroses and giraffes that have been imprisoned by people begin to grow in reverse, becoming incredibly powerful and capable of indiscriminate slaughter. The staff inside the venue are. Aqua Blue Star will no longer be exclusive to humans, but will become the home ground of these mutated creatures. The arrival of disaster will wash away a large part of humanity, but there is also a small group of people who have won the favor of heaven. The special energy in the air gives these chosen people unprecedented abilities. A psychic who can manipulate magnetism, a tidal giant who can control tidal energy, a tamer who tames terrifying mutated beasts, and some zombie experts who can establish relationships with zombies. These people are all called professionals. They will survive better in this era of disaster. For example, many influencers and millions of beauty bloggers will gradually become appendages to these capable professionals. All world rules are being renegotiated. It seems that only the strong have the right to make a little choice. Chapter 2. Nathaniel. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the territory of Hengzhou, according to my past memories, there seems to have appeared a monster with a lion body and a ghost face called Nathaniel. After the disaster arrived, this monster continued to accumulate strength and almost destroyed half of Hengzhou in the end. Later, the military paid an extremely heavy price before finally annihilating it. In that battle, almost all of the elite members of the military's top echelons fell. After a long period of rest, the military slowly regained some vitality. The devil tattoo is reflected on his own chest. The second-class werewolf bloodline is definitely not suitable for use anymore. The upper limit of this bloodline is really too low. If one awakens the ability of demon tattoos at the moment of disaster. Summon with Nathaniel. Lin Yu felt a burning sensation in his breath. This is an incredibly bold idea, very risky, but worth a try. Relying on the advantage of the foresight, as long as you find a few more precious places, you can even effortlessly touch the golden life. Is it just that Nathaniel's predecessor seemed to be just a hyena? If I remember correctly, the location where this hyena first appeared was at the underground gambling ground in Hengzhou City. As the desires of the upper-class nobles continued to expand, some bizarre competitions have also been developed. Ordinary cockfighting and sheep fighting have no meaning. If you want to fight, fight the most ferocious hyena. The puppies who are transported over are usually starved by the keeper for several days without feeding them, and then the two selected fighting dogs are placed in cages for them to gnaw on each other. The remaining visitors can start betting now, as both dogs have similar body sizes. Only one dog will come out alive in the end. Blood, organs, intestines. This seems to be the best stimulant for people who have already turned black. Jiang Street. Lin Yu pressed the down button of the lower elevator expressionlessly. The end of the world is about to break out, so he certainly doesn't have the interest to see how this dark arena operates. The disaster came too abruptly, and before he could recover, the surroundings became a sea of corpses and blood. In the early stages of disaster, some culprits that have opened the genetic chain are even stronger than terrifying infected individuals. They not only react extremely quickly, but their abilities are also incredibly eerie. It's not something that ordinary people can handle. Nathaniel, the ominous creature in Hebrew prophecy, is definitely the king among these distorted herds of beasts with a lion's body and ghost's face. Even after his death in battle, a large cloud of poisonous mist erupted in the place where Nathaniel died, causing all the participants to cool down. In the early stages of the disaster, Lin Yu was deeply impressed by the most ferocious creature in Hengzhou City. It has bloody arena numbers of 0524 on its back. This is also why Lin Yu came here. He wants to find the nightmare-level demon that will dominate the world soon. In Huaxia, firearms and hot weapons are prohibited. Compared to selling useless cold weapons and food, Nathaniel is a presence. Only then will it be more conducive to Lin Yu's planning. Wow! A few seconds later, the elevator door opened. A spacious hall caught Lin Yu's eye. "Hey, kid, what are you doing here?" Seeing the unfamiliar person appear, several goalkeepers immediately surrounded Lin Yu with a wary expression. "I want to gamble, I want a dog." Even surrounded by a few strong men, Lin Yu still didn't seem nervous at all. His expression did not change at all, and these few people couldn't intimidate him. "What gambling? This is the Welsh fabric store." The head of the sunglasses, who is the leader, has an unpleasant expression. Lin Yu smiled. The shop was displayed as an expensive fabric shop, but in reality, it was a lottery venue. As an invisible industry, there is naturally a special set of rules here. You must show your identity to enter. The next second, a south red agate as big as a fist appeared in front of the head of the sunglasses with an orange halo. Gulu. The head of the sunglasses swallowed a mouthful of saliva. He is a discerning jade of this quality, at least valued at millions. This is all Lin Yu has. Alone, he ventured into the gathering place of the black sexy society, just to select hyenas. This is simply insane. Wait. No one will struggle with money. Just now, the goalkeeper leader with a disjointed expression wanted to kick this blind rascal out. His expression suddenly relaxed. He can't be the master of this kind of thing, he still needs to ask above. Finally, after the sunglasses man took out his walkie-talkie and pounded it for a while. Lin Yu became the guest of entry for this gambling venue. This is the stone he exchanged for the house deed and the antique collection of the old man next door. Under the guidance of the guide, Lin Yu saw the internal environment after passing through a narrow corridor. Good guy. 2 black boxers, one of whom had his arm cruelly twisted off. The audience seemed to be cheering passionately. On the other side of the black boxing ring is the dog fighting arena. A hyena with spots all over its body has collapsed, and its spine has been cruelly bitten by its opponent. Even if rescued, it is a useless waste for life. All the gamblers on the field are in high spirits, and blood is the best additive. In this boiling atmosphere, a man with a scorpion tattoo on his neck walked up to Lin Yu. His name is Qian Mingyi, and he is the boss of this gambling house. For some reason, the young man in front of him gives him an inexplicable feeling. Surprisingly, it made him, who had experienced strong winds and waves, feel a hint of palpitations. As if standing in front of him was a cheetah poised for action. This shouldn't be. I want to buy a hyena. This. Lin Yu handed the chips to the opponent. The price is enough. Qian Mingyi gave way. In fact, he has many dogs, and even selling one to the other person would be harmless. Is today your lucky day? Qian Mingyi's mouth shrunk. Lin Yu quickly scanned the ferocious hyenas around him. 0923, no. 0654, no. 0524, found it. A wisp of light appeared in Lin Yu's pupils, and the hyena had a broken leg. His body was covered in terrifying scars. Its gaze towards humanity is filled with hatred. I want it. Soon, Lin Yu walked out of Welsh fabric with a black pocket in his hand. Accu. Qian Mingyi sneezed and couldn't understand the young people nowadays. The end of the world is coming. No one would have thought that this beast, which was raised by humans as a pastime, would soon become a nightmare that lingers over this city. In some vague memories. Lin Yu vaguely remembers. Welsh fabric, when search and rescue personnel arrived, presented them with an extremely cruel picture. The thick plasma on the corridor, the severed fingers of humans, and the missing head. A scene reminiscent of the human world's Shura field. It's hard to imagine how these guys were subjected to inhumane torture and treatment before they died. This incident is called the Fabric Tragedy. Chapter 3. Awakening. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 4. Parkinson's Patience. Volma, Terrifying Trouble. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 5. Welfare Society, Double-Edged Zombies. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 6. Sacrifice, Frost and Inferno Visitors. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 7. Black Crow Lady, the Cow Beast Seduced Over. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 8. Crisis Resolution, The Wild Wolf Gang. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 9. Jiang Chuqing. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 10. Fear Manipulators. Su Nanye promotes. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text.